we put our things down.
Thank you. There's no pressure because it's 7 months since my last week. I'm not worried about it, but thank you.
So I'm putting this. Can we turn this off in the house, the mic? Thank you all. We're only doing this for live stream, not for. Thank you.
Tell us who your relatives are.
Okay. So first of all, if I could have you guys stand over here, and everyone else, like, have you guys come on over. And the only reason why I'm going to ask you not to fill that spot is because the camera is going to record this. But come on in closer. Yeah, come in closer. Just don't block the middle. There we go. And there's another camera there, so we're good. Yeah, come on in. So I just thought I would get us, we just came off of the street, and sometimes we have to get ourselves centered. And you guys are music singers and music people, so I'm just going to start with a song. And this is really just so that we have this recorded for when you want to listen to this again. It's not going in the house. Do di li vani lo haroe ba shoshani do di li mi zondola min hamidbar mi zondola min hamidbar do di li vani lo haroe ba shoshani do di li. Doesn't really matter what language it's in, you just feel the language of love in that song. But the words do happen to come from the Song of Songs, which is the love poetry of the Bible. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I actually wanted to start with a poem. It's called Arrow and the Song by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew the sight, I could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of a song? Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow, still unbroke, and the song, from beginning to end, I found again in the heart of a friend. I feel like when I saw this poem that it was written for you met each other long, long ago. And let's just say that, Trey, you shot forth a Cupid's arrow of sorts long ago into the air. Not sure if it would land or when, but you were patient. And your first date, which you framed as a non-date, came because your real date flaked. It felt safer to start that way. And so, Leanna, you responded just as one might have expected to a non-date, as a friend. And in the meantime, you both breathed your songs into the air. It was through your voices, first in the New York Choral Society, then as friends, on that date and many, many more non-dates. And then only much later, as something more, that you discovered that your arrow had indeed landed in each other's hearts. That the song that you were singing had now merged into one, and you wanted its beginning and its end to be with each other. What a miracle that is. It's not something to be taken for granted. I am so happy to have the opportunity to bless you here in this sacred space, a community that has been home for you and for your family for many decades. Odette and Victor have already demonstrated that the spiritual language of a place can speak to people of all faiths and to seekers of all kinds. So I hope that you will also feel at home here as well. Tonight, I offer you the universal blessings of devotion, commitment, patience, forgiveness, and love as you both prepare to create a new family together. And I also want to offer you the priestly benediction, which is our tradition's very oldest blessing. It's one that's shared by Jews and Christians or anyone else who sees the Bible as a sacred text. And it happens, not coincidentally, because I think nothing is a coincidence, to be in this week's Torah portion. So it feels particularly meaningful that these are the words that I can offer to you both on the occasion of your upcoming wedding. These words that are deep and rich in so many traditions and have blessed people in generations long before us and will continue to bless even after you. So I'll invite everyone to kind of come in close now. And I'm going to open the ark. And I invite you to come. And as I put this tallest rendering, or maybe we'll switch places. There we go. There we go. And as I take this over your head, this is like a pot of sorts, like a pot, and which is a symbol of home and a symbol of blessing. And I hope that you feel that the embrace of this talis is like an embrace of all the generations that have come before you. And in particular, I want you to know that this is an embrace of the people, your loved ones, and your family. And we're blessing you in this moment. It might not be physically here, but here is Trish, your dad, who blessed this union, got to meet Leanna and say that this was good, and others in your family who are here. Mazel tov. What a blessing to have you here for this and for many, many more blessings than we've been on your wedding too.
I'm so glad you were here.
Nice to see you here. All right, I'm going to close this market so that people won't feel like they have to.
Can I give you a hug? Friends with Victor and Jet for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
a long time.
It is
So
a
glad
long
you're
time.
here.
Nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Oh, kind of grew up together, like almost like siblings. Oh, it's so nice. Well, it's meaningful that you're
Victor, I
here.
introduced myself.
I've seen you on television.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here.
Yes, thank
Excuse
you.
me, in person.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's a tribute.
Yes, so beautiful. And you'll stay for services, I hope? Oh, great. Wonderful. All right. I'm going to move this out of the
It turned on. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Shabbat services here at Central Synagogue. We greet all of you, of course, joining us here in the sanctuary, and we waved hi to all of you joining us via our various live stream platforms and via JBS. I am Rabbi Dan Ross. I'm joined this evening on the Bima by my colleagues, our Senior Rabbi Angela Buchdahl, Senior Cantor Dan Mutlu, Cantor Jetta Pearsall, Rabbi Mosal, by our President, Dr. Shani Silverberg. And we are also grateful to welcome this evening the President of the World Union for Progressive Judaism, Rabbi Sergio Bergman, and the Chair of the Board of the World Union, Carol Steinberg. Sterling. Thank you, Rabbi Buchdahl. And we offer our sincerest gratitude to our musicians, our shamashim, to our lay leaders. We're having our Board of Trustees installation now, but I'm going to stop talking because we really need to talk about these wonderful young people in front of us, our red and silver roomers who are finishing up nursery school this Shabbat. And as we send them off on their way, not too far, but on their way from their time here at Central Synagogue, we are going to offer them a special blessing, Tefillat Haderech.
May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace.
You bless with health and joy. May this be your blessing. Amen.
Just amen.
Amen. Amen. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing.
All right. May this be your blessing. Amen. And now you can go find your grown-ups. As we ask everybody to welcome those of you who are in the sanctuary and to greet those around you who you're praying with. We continue our service by welcoming a little bit more light into our sanctuary with the lighting of the Shabbat candles as we invite up Karen Deutsch, Erica Rubenstein, Julia Amsel, Jamie Amsel, Ruth Wygotsky, Nathan Wygotsky, Sam Wygotsky, Ariel Cannon, and Mike Wygotsky.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
We continue with Shiru Ladonai on your order of service.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Sing, sing a song, sing a new song to our God. Sing a song of joy and praise. Sing it out, oh, sing it loud. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la.
We continue with Zamru Ladonai on your order of service.
Zamru l'Adonai, Zamru l'Adonai bechino. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai.
we conclude Kabbalat Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on page 20, singing verses 1 to 5 and 9, rising on the 9th verse to face the door and greet Shabbat.
Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala.
standing for our call to prayer Baruch Hu on page 146.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la.
You may be seated. We join together in the Hebrew blessing for creation on page 147. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro mariv aravim, bechochma poteach sharim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem, barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mitnei choshech, v'choshech mitnei or.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים. תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המריב הרבים.
We join together in the English on page 148. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. Ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'divarta bam. V'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'prumecha u'kshatam leot al yedecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha
וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue with Micha Mocha, our song of freedom on page 152.
Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, micha mocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehiloto sefer. Up to the bima now 3 seniors who have graduated, and before they go off to college, we would just love to have them up on this bima one last time to sing with us. Jared, Ben, and Wolf, please join us for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Guide us and shield us from hatred and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu
with the Amidah on page 155. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, בקוני הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיים מתים, אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום מהללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue in silence with the words on the page or the words in your heart, seated or standing, as is your custom.
נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיי מדבר מרמה ולמקללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי 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 נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר מרמה, ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי, אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתיים מדבר מרמה, ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי, פתח ליבי, פתח ליבי, פתח ליבי, בתורתך נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתיים מדבר מרמה, ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי, אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתיים מדבר מרמה, ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי,
יהיו לרצון נמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, אדוני, אדוני,
אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי
There is in this week's Torah portion a three-part blessing that inspired Leonard Nimoy long ago to create his well-known Spockian blessing. Live long and prosper. B'nai Mitzvah students, if you do not know Leonard Nimoy or what I'm talking about, or anyone else, see me after services. I'll be very happy to explain this very important Torah lesson. Live long and prosper. Surely we aspire for all of our loved ones to be the living embodiment of this prayer. But we know of many who, instead of prospering, are suffering, compromised by illness, abuse, or addiction. And we're also aware of many others who we do not know, who are also struggling. And so now we pray for them all of them, all of us who are in need of healing. And I read now names of loved ones close to this congregational community: Corey Flaum, Richard Frank, Etta Mindel Bat Chana, Miriam Bat Yaakov, and Stephanie Rothschild. I invite you to share aloud or in your heart names of those you're praying for this evening. May they soon know a speedy recovery of the body, mind, and spirit, so that their lives are ones filled as much as possible with longevity and prosperity. Our prayer for healing is found on page 2, at the top of the page of our order of service.
Nachamu, nachamu, Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem.
At this time in our service, we also take time to count the blessings that are in our lives. And if I say one that is true for you, I invite you to rise and remain standing. If you're becoming, for example, a bat or bar mitzvah this Shabbat, I'll ask you to rise. Isabel, Julia, Nathan, Ruth. Take a look around. You turn around for a second. Take a look at your congregation. Nathan, turn around for a second. We're right behind you, like literally right behind you, and also figuratively right behind you, supporting you as you head into this special Shabbat for you. Mazel tov. I want to invite your parents to rise and stand next to you, your grandparents, other family members, siblings who are here as we're celebrating this special Shabbat for you. Where's Stephanie and Nick tonight? Can I ask you to rise? There you are. Great. Mazel tov to you. We're going to be celebrating you at the Bima shortly. And invite your parents and other loved ones who are here celebrating your upcoming wedding. I know there's other couples who are about to be married here. I'll invite you to rise. Wendy and Jack, where are you? Can I see a wave of you guys? There you are. Great. Mazel tov to you. If there's any other couples in the congregation who are about to be married, invite you to stand, as well as your loved ones who are you're with. We want to congratulate you and celebrate this special time in your lives. If it's your birthday this week or in the week ahead, I'll invite you to rise. If it's your anniversary this week or in the week ahead, I invite you to rise and we say happy anniversary to you. We have many members in the congregation tonight who have served or continue to serve our community in leadership positions. So if you're currently serving or have in the past served as a part of one of our committees, I'll invite you to rise. If you're a past or present member of our board of trustees, I'll ask you to rise. Don't be shy. Well, you can be shy, but I still want you to rise because we want to thank you for your dedication and commitment to our synagogue. And perhaps you're just happy to have witnessed some of our country's finest kids participate in the National Spelling Bee this week, or maybe you're just happy to be out of the rain in this beautiful tent, this beautiful synagogue celebrating Shabbat together. If you are able to, please rise and join us in singing our song of thanksgiving, our Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
I invite you to remain standing. And Stephanie and Nick, please join us up on the bima as we bless you before this community. Stephanie and Nick, we are so grateful to have you both here to bless your upcoming wedding in front of your extended community. Stephanie, very soon after this blessing, you together will come up and you will bless the Torah. And the last time you had an aliyah here was for your bat mitzvah, which was a few years ago. But you said to me when we met that it was one of those memories in your life that is crystal clear. Well, I will admit that your bat mitzvah is also a very crystal clear memory for me. Maybe it was because it was one of my early ones as a cantor here at Central, or because you had such an exceptional singing voice and we had you singing on the bima extra times just like those 3 graduates today. Or maybe because I was so moved that you were your family's first bat mitzvah in America since they'd immigrated here from Iran. Or all of the above. Your family has been deeply involved as leaders in this community, and they are very precious to all of us. So it is such a privilege to share in this milestone with you and to extend this community and welcome you, Nick, into this community and to celebrate that you have found your intended one. You both met in an old school, low-tech kind of way at a college party. It got pretty serious very fast, and there was a very strong sense that this relationship was really right, and there was never a time that you questioned it. The only thing is it made others definitely question, then why did it take so long to get engaged? Well, but there was law school and long distance, and you wanted to wait until you were settled and in the same place, and it felt right. You've really grown up together, and in a real sense, you have shaped each other into the adults that you are today, supporting each other every step of the way. And this foundation gives you the roots for a beautiful family that you will soon create together. We celebrate that you have met your intended one so early, and now that you are making it official. We want to bless you with a blessing that feels particularly special tonight since, as you heard, it is found in this week's Torah portion. It's our tradition's oldest blessing, one that is shared by all people who see the Bible as a sacred text. And I want to wrap you in this talit, and as I do, I hope you feel the blessing of all the generations who've come before you, who bless you in this moment, and to feel the community blessing as well. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God be gracious to you and shine abundant light on you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom. May you feel a sense of wholeness and God's abundant peace on you. Ken Yehi Ratzon. You remain standing as we bring the Torah out into the community.
La
Well, I guess that's a sign that we are to sit down. Please be seated. You want to announce where you're reading?
I will be chanting from the book of Numbers, chapter 6, lines 22 through 27. You can find it in your blue Torah commentary on page 1064.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Aharon ve'el benav lemor. Ko tevarchu et bnei Yisrael amor lahem. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha vichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom. V'samru et shemi al bnei Yisrael va'ani avarchem.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
It is the season of graduations, starting with the 4-year-olds, this service, as you saw. It happened to be a pretty big one for me. Last week, I watched this tall, bearded man walk across a podium who had the same name as my baby boy. And I marveled, how did that happen? And on Monday, my youngest, Rose, and her friend Alex, who happens to be here, will graduate from high school, rendering me and Jacob empty nesters. I know many of you have been through this before, but as it's happening to me, I'm still taken a little aback by how surprised I am by these emotions. Lots of joy and awe, mixed with nostalgia and some loss. And it's not just graduation season, it seems to also be wedding season. You saw an ufruf. I also had an ufruf before services, and this Sunday will be my 5th wedding in 2 months. And milestone events like these have a way of not only drawing up a lot of emotions, but playing with our sense of time. There is a principle expressed in the Talmud, ein mukdam u'meuchar b'Torah. Literally, there is no early or late in the Torah, meaning there's not a chronology that you can follow in a linear way in the Torah. Sometimes things are written, but they happened earlier, or vice versa. The Talmud uses this concept to explain fanciful midrashic stories, like the one where Moses gets to travel to the 1st century to sit in the Beit Midrash of Rabbi Akiva. All of this is possible when there's no chronology. This idea, however, challenges our very linear way of thinking about time. But I've come to appreciate that there are many moments, especially these kinds of milestone moments, where time feels much more fluid. I thought of this when I sat in my daughter's final a cappella concert recently. I was fully in the moment, tearing up the whole time, but then they brought out this little elementary school choir, the Heschel Half Notes. Rose first began singing. Her first concert was with those half notes when she was 7. And back then, the high schoolers seemed impossibly old. I blinked, and Rose became one of them. And when Rose closed out the concert singing Fix You, there wasn't a senior parent who wasn't crying. because we all know what's coming. Our children will soon be out of the house doing what they are meant to do, which is no longer needing us. Moments like this have a way of collapsing time so that you can feel the vividness of the present, the immediacy of the past, just as you see the future. Ein mukdam umeochar. There is no early or late. It is all of it, all at once. This was all very top of mind as I read a beautiful interpretation of the most famous lines from this week's Torah portion. Parshat Naso contains Birkat Kohanim, known as the priestly benediction, a blessing that you've seen we offer regularly at these milestones, just like the Ufraf I just officiated. It is also the traditional blessing that parents offer their children every Shabbat. The 16th century rabbi of Prague, Rabbi Shlomo Ephraim ben Acharon of Lunches, also known by his less cumbersome nickname, the Kli Yakar, after his most famous commentary of the Torah, he writes a beautiful interpretation of the threefold benediction, seeing each line as representing three different stages of life. And he uses the language of daughter, sister, mother. I invite you to use language that resonates for you. Maybe it's son, brother, father, or perhaps it's student, peer, teacher. So let me expand a little on the way he breaks down the three lines of this blessing and expand on his commentary. Yivorechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yishmerecha, literally coming from shomer, to guard or protect you. So the first line reminds us that we all start out as children. We are someone's daughter or son. We are all children of God. And in this first stage, we need protection from a parent, a teacher, a loved one. A child cannot walk through the world without help. Guardrails, security, shelter. So this is the first blessing for our inner child who needs safety and protection. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God look upon you and be gracious to you. Elecha. We translate that as, may God look upon you, but in Hebrew it literally means to you. Not looking down upon, but elecha, which is an eye-level way of seeing one another as equals, as peers. This is the blessing of a sister to a sister, a friend to a friend. Now, as a parent or as a teacher or as a mentor, it's the moment when you realize that the person that you've been caring for and teaching and protecting now stands across from you as a fully developed human being who may be of you, may be shaped by you, but is wholly their own person. And here we offer the blessing of seeing them in their own individuality, their own authenticity, as an equal. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up God's face to you and give you peace. Yisa. Here the directionality is very clear. God is looking up at us, lifting up God's face to us. It might be how a parent would look up to an adult child, someone they are now admiring as this person who does miraculous things. Or it might be like a teacher looking at her student who has surpassed her in wonderful ways. There becomes a natural shifting of roles where the child, the student, now cares for the elder. But the elder still has the wisdom to give them the blessing of peace, a peace which can only be acquired with the experience and the depth of their lives. So tonight, when I go home to my Shabbat table, I will offer this priestly benediction to my daughter, as I have every week of her life. And seated around my table will be my parents, who are also here, who have come in for this special occasion. So I will be simultaneously daughter, sister, mother, and the roles have all shifted around with time. I know that when I bless Rose through my tears tonight, it will be she who will be comforting me, and I will be the one fretting over parenting my parents as we navigate the city to get home. But perhaps the wisdom of this Birkat Kohanim is that we can hold the past, the present, and the future together all at once. We can hold together the blessings of protection and authenticity and peace for all of our loved ones at whatever stage we are at, and even as they shift and change. And we can appreciate that these moments of blessing are when we touch the eternal nature of time. Not early, not late, but forever. I invite the community, please rise as we give honor to the Torah and to these blessings. And if you look carefully as we lift this Torah, you'll be able to see the special place where this blessing is written. Shift gears just a little bit. If you'll allow me a brief story, also based on our Torah portion, I promise it will be relevant to the next thing we are doing. Harry comes to his rabbi. He says, "Rabbi, I want you to make me a Kohen." The rabbi said, "Harry, you know I can't make you a Kohen." And Harry says, "Please, Rabbi, if you can find it in your heart to make me a Kohen, I will donate $10,000 to the synagogue." The rabbi replied, "Harry, don't ask me to do this, please. I can't help you." 3 weeks later, Harry came back. "Rabbi, I really want to be a Kohen. And if you make me a Kohen, I will contribute $18 million to the synagogue's endowment campaign." The rabbi said, "Let me check the sources again in the Talmud. I'll get right back to you." 2 months later, the rabbi calls, "Harry, I think I have found a way." So Harry comes down to the synagogue. He goes through a special ceremony before the ark. They sign the papers. Harry writes the check. And the rabbi says to Harry, "Mazel tov, Harry, from this day forward, you are a Kohen." And Harry said, "Rabbi, I can't thank you enough. You can't imagine what this means to me. I mean, you see, my father was a Kohen and my grandfather was a Kohen." Oh, thank you for laughing so hard. I thought you all knew that joke. Okay. It is an old joke written by Jewish immigrants, which plays on the American dream that here you could become anyone you want to be. Your pedigree is irrelevant. And yet, of course, the joke is that he would have been a Kohen anyway, but you know that the true American dream was that we democratized leadership. And yes, truly everyone gets to be a Kohen in the sense of like everyone can be a leader. In fact, even back in our Torah, it said we should be a nation of priests. So every one of us has a responsibility to step up. Back in the days of the first and second temples, however, Jewish leadership was reserved only for priests. Only they could utter the priestly benediction. Only they could offer sacrifices on behalf of the people. And then leadership was hereditary, guaranteed, and often corrupt. But even then, as I said, we were charged to take on leadership when it was needed. Tonight, as we install our officers and trustees of the board, newly voted upon by all of our congregation at our last annual meeting last week, I want to honor the exceptional leadership who have all stepped up to serve this congregation. Our board reflects the wisdom, integrity, compassion, and intelligence of the best of us here in this community. Each trustee is admired and respected in their own right. They each bring multitudes of gifts that make Central Synagogue a leader among synagogues. They are also the most decent, kind, and caring people. So I speak for our entire Central clergy and staff when I say that we are deeply honored to serve alongside this exceptional board. So we'd like to honor them as we officially install them into their positions. As I call your name, I'd ask you to please step up to the bima. I'll start with our officers, Dr. Shawnee Silverberg, our treasurer, David Tanner, secretary, Jill Siegerman, and our vice presidents, Jonathan Crystal, Amy Glickman, Sarah Moss, Susie Stern. We are grateful for the work that you all do. And I'd like to call up our board of trustees, Brad Bernstein, Jonine Bernstein, Nancy Shemtab, Devonna Cohen, Richard Cohen, Cindy Edelson, Alice Greenwald, Bruce Gutkin, Alan Herman, David Kleinhandler, Ben Losky, John May, Lisa Messenger, Lori Moore, Ellen Oppenheim, Karen Paquette, Susan Saltstein, Stephen Siegel, Jeffrey Silverstein, Jenny Sharfstein-Kane, Mark Stern, Josh Targoff, David Weil, and all of our former presidents who continue to serve with distinction, David Edelson, Jeremy Fielding, Kenneth Heitner, Abby Pogrebin, Howard Sharfstein, Alfred Youngwood. Where are my clergy colleagues? Oh, come on around. Come on up this way. We feel so grateful for what you have brought to this community, the way you serve, and the way you support all of us who work here at Central Synagogue. And truly, you represent the very best of who we are as a congregation, and we are so deeply blessed by your service to this community and through Central to the larger Jewish people. We want to offer you words that come, of course, from this week's Torah portion you will hear, but the beginning before we offer the priestly benediction in English are words that come from the Talmud, and we hope you are blessed with them.
May you live to see your world fulfilled and share in worlds to come.
May you trust the past and future and see God in everyone.
May your words be filled with insight, songs of praise beyond your tongue.
May your wisdom lie before you. May you shine with the light of the Holy One. May God bless and keep you. May God's light shine down on you. And may God bless you with happiness and peace. May God bless and keep you. May God's light shine down on you. And may God bless you with happiness and peace.
Please stay on our bima as we rise together to return our Torah to the ark.
Eitz chaim hi למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושרת דרכיה דרכנו לכל נתיבותיה שלום
Veit Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known and loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. For love doesn't die. People do. So in all that's left of me is love. Give me away. The Shabbat we remember with love those who have died in the past 30 days: Julian Astian, Loretta Black Elk Running Hawk, Marilyn Brown, Stephanie Cook, Sanford Gluck, Audrey Halperin, Vivian Lewis, and Harold Sokoloff. And remember with love dear ones who have died at this season in years past: Elvin Abels, Abraham Abramowitz, Lawrence Ackman, Bertram Asquith, Robert Auerbach, Barbara Ballett, Arnold Bendies, Melvin Berman, Clara Blitz, Leonard Brody, Doris L. Brown, Janet Burrows, Blanche Burstein, Stacy Chaikin, Ralph Dankner, Paul Clark, Charles Edelstein, Claire Elterman, Myrna R. Fisher, Philip B. Fisher, William Forster, Barbara Friedman, Edgar Freitag, Audrey Friedman, Ruth Friedman, Gussie Fromkin, Eleanor Fromer, Leroy E. Gaines, Jack Geller, Sue Ellen Globus, Philip Goldsmith, Marvin Goodman, Shirley Greitzer, Ruth Gurin, Nancy Yanes Hoffman, Barbara Ingber, Carl Jayberg, Jack Jaffe, Jane Justin, Abraham Kaplan, Bessie Kaplan, Alexander Katzman, Nathan Koenigswald, Estelle Coe, Rosalind Komaroff, Sally Corin, Vicki Krebs, David Kremer, Martin Kurtz, Lyda Levine, Dorothy W. Levitt, Yetta Lichtenstein, Pauline Lipsky, Sylvia Lissman, Herman Lowett, Julia Merrill, Carol Nadell, Edward Nathanson, Charlotte Neugeborn, Steph Oppenheim, Irene Parker, Irving Press, Claire Rothberg, Morton Rothberg, Jules Francis Saunders, Roland Schaefer, Leonard Schaffrin, Howard Lionel Schneiderman, Charles Schwartz, Joyce Cashman Selig, Avtalyon Shabto, Muriel Abramson Shapiro, Deborah Silverman, Sylvia Silverman, Esther Singer, William Snyder, Matthew Travis, Betty Wallach, Al Weil, Henry Weishoff, Carol Wolfson, and Benjamin R. Younger. If there is a name that you're remembering this Shabbat that I did not read that you'd like to share aloud right now, I'll invite you to do so now. If this is the first week that you're in mourning, I'll invite you to rise to honor your loved one. If it's within the first 30 days of the death of your loved one, I'll invite you to rise. If it's been within a year since the passing of your dear one, I'll invite you to rise. If you're observing a yard site this Shabbat, please rise. And I'll invite the entire congregation to join with you. We're turning now to page 294, and we say, Zichronam Livracha, and may the memory of our loved ones be for blessing. Mourners Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, b'yamad yivrach yehutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayedechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uzman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam umei almaya, yit barach v'yishabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit taleb v'yit alav shemei duhudsha brichu le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram b'yamah v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen.
So long as we live, they too shall live. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us as we remember.
So special to be together with everyone here in the sanctuary, in the pews and in the sanctuary through our live streaming. Hope you'll join us for future services in the weeks ahead. Our programs are on our website. We're so thrilled for our B'nai Mitzvah. We're going to call them forward now. Ruth and Nathan and Isabel and Julia forward as we prepare to say our blessings over wine and challah at the conclusion of service. Some of us will be available to greet you at the exit of our sanctuary, and some of us will be downstairs in our own Night Shabbat. We hope you'll join us downstairs if you have a chance to have a cookie and some coffee with us. Page 5, the Kiddush for Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Children, come up with me. Sorry,
Baruch
Baruch.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher lisiyat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
We'll conclude with Adon Olam, page 321.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir livra, le'ed nasa v'chepzo kol hazai melech shemo nikra. Ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora,
והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי מעין צרה והוא ניסים ומדוס לי ונתוסי ביום אקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי והייתי שם מהעירה והיא רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Join us downstairs.